Life with Louella, written and illustrated by Margaret Hurd. This week's episode, Message in a Bottle.
"What are you doing, Norton?"
asked Louella. "Writing a message in a bottle," replied Norton.
"That's what I thought,"
said Louella. "It should be interesting to see where it ends up," said Norton.
"Yes," agreed Louella. "Oh, well, you know what they say. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy."
A couple weeks later, Norton found his bottle back again, floating in the river. "I wonder if anyone wrote back," he said to himself as he swam out to it and pulled out the note. "Dear Norton," it began, "I got your note. Since there was no return address, I took a chance and replied the way I got it. Vivian." "Yes!" shouted Norton. He was so excited. In fact, he wrote back right away. Vivian was standing on the shore of Muskrat Island, about to practice her flute, when she saw the bottle floating in the water. "I wonder if that's Norton again," she said to herself. She pulled out the note. "Yes, it is," she wrote back immediately. Norton was sitting in the park playing his violin when he saw the bottle floating back to him. He read the note. "Dear Norton," it started, "many of the other ducks think I'm weird because I play the flute. What do you think?" she asked in her letter. Norton wrote back, "Dear Vivian, other ducks think it's strange too that I play the violin. Perhaps we could make some beautiful music together." The note didn't take long to arrive. Vivian read it to her two nieces, Gwendolyn and Daphne, who were both very curious and amused. "Why, Aunt Vivian, he sounds like a very interesting and unusual duck," exclaimed Gwendolyn. "If I were you, I'd go visit him," suggested Daphne. "Aren't you just dying to meet him?" "Sure, why not?" "Yahoo!" shouted Norton, leaping into the air doing a cartwheel.
"What's happening, Norton?" asked Louella. "Who turbocharged your Wheaties?"
"I can hardly believe it," exclaimed Norton. "Vivian's coming to visit me. I'm actually going to meet her."
"Hey, that's wonderful," said Louella.
"Better pack a lunch, Aunt Vivian," suggested Gwendolyn. "It's a long swim." "Right on," said Vivian. Her nieces helped her prepare a hearty lunch and pack it into a red knapsack. "Have a good time," said Daphne as Vivian swam away. "I will. You two girls behave yourselves while I'm gone," called Vivian. "We will," said Gwendolyn. "You'll have to tell us all about it when you get back." "Vivian!" shouted Norton. He recognized her at once. "Norton!" shouted Vivian. "Hey, nice hat." "It goes with my job," he replied. "So that's why you're called Norton the News Duck." "Yep." After a moment's awkward silence, the two of them decided to go for lunch. Vivian unpacked her knapsack and brought out 2 Kaisers with pastrami, potato salad, and a lovely chocolate cake. Norton brought green grapes, a plaid thermos full of knuckleweed juice, and his favorite food, the inevitable, ever-present walnuts. "All right, I love walnuts," exclaimed Vivian, "and this is my favorite way to eat 'em." Vivian cracked a walnut against her head. "Why, Vivian," said Norton, smashing a walnut against his head, "you're a duck after my own heart." After lunch, Norton got out his violin, and Vivian took out her flute, and they played some music together. 2 squirrels came to listen. Greedy Gus, the gray goose, and his goose gang came to listen. They were really impressed. When they decided they'd played enough music for the day, the 2 of them went to the adventure playground to swing on the tire. Round and round they spun. "Whoa, I'm getting dizzy," shouted Norton, as his hat flew off. Vivian just laughed and laughed. Pretty soon it was time for Vivian to go home. "I'm glad you came to visit," said Norton. "We'll have to get together again really soon." "Yes," said Vivian. "I really had a wonderful time. We seem to have quite a few things in common." "We certainly do," Norton agreed. The 2 ducks found it hard to say goodbye to each other, but it certainly wasn't the last time they'd see each other again. In fact, it was only the beginning of a very special friendship.